Hello, everybody. Welcome to the weekly bump. Thank you guys so much for being here. I'm going to keep it really light this week, seeing as how we have monthlies coming out. I am working on the monthlies. They should be out in the next few days, so stay tuned for that. But we're still going to do a weekly bump this week. So starting with pile 1, which is a yellow aura quartz, pile 2, which is a purple, and pile 3, which is an orange. So feel free to take a moment. Pick a pile, right? If you need to pause the camera or pause the video rather, you're more than welcome to do so. Take a moment, feel intuitively pulled. If you're not feeling connected or energetically pulled toward a pile, that's fine. You can always just randomly pick one, be it your favorite color or just, totally at random. I always say there's an element of destiny with these. So timestamps for these will be in the description box down below or in the comment thread down below so you can quickly jump to one pile or the other. All right? See you guys in just a sec. Okay, pile number 1, you guys selected the yellow aura quartz. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and see what comes through. Well, we have the hanged one or the hanged man in this particular deck. There might be some stuff that's delayed right now, right? You may be trying to push time forward a little bit and yet unable to. We have to remember that Saturn is still finishing out his transit in Capricorn, which is a very dense energy, right? It's been here for a couple of years. I think we can all feel like 2019, 2020, generally speaking, had a lot of surprises, and there was very little that we actually had control over. Okay, so I think you're still finishing something out, and you're coming into a higher level consciousness, as we always do when the hanged man is present. We come into higher consciousness. We come into higher levels of understanding. We develop deeper meaning of compassion. And sometimes things in the world, right? Our jobs, our careers, or these paths that we always have this idea of like this path, right? Sometimes it doesn't always become clear. But it's important for you to know that exactly where you are right now is your path. That you're not on your path. You're not going in the right direction. Everything is perfect. When the hanged man comes out, it's a reminder that sometimes we need to be caught up in the energetic current sometimes. We need to be at the mercy of the energy or at the mercy of the universe right now. So the more surrendered you can be, hanged man, hung up by your feet upside down, right? Not a lot of control there, not a lot you can do, other than just allow yourself to understand where you are and allow yourself to be open to the possibility that maybe there's something you're not quite seeing yet. Okay? So, Queen of Wands, Ace of Wands, Page of Swords, Knight of Swords, Five of Coins, Five of Swords, excuse me. There's a real difference in how you and someone else are trying to approach something. Some of you may have a battle of the self, right? It's you against yourself. Some of you, it's you against someone else. And I will say against, okay? I mean, it's like, I don't know, there's a clash happening. The Knight of Swords is the part of us or the person that is trying really, really, really hard to not be in the hanged man position. They are coming from a place of scarcity, a place of fear, a place of shame, of guilt, of negativity, and they're trying to control something, which means they don't have trust. They're trying to control it, and therefore they don't trust. And hopefully that is not that they don't trust you. Whereas I see this Queen of Wands who's a lot more optimistic and a lot more open, more wise. She's coming from a place of opportunity. She's coming from a place of curiosity. She's looking ahead and yet perfectly capable of still sitting still in her throne. She's not running. She's not trying to get anywhere else other than where she is. This can be an energy of someone chasing a lot. Chasing, going after, trying to make life fit into the mold of what he thinks it should look like. And I say he because it's a Knight of Swords, but it could be anybody, okay? But trying to force life into a box, which we know is kind of a fool's errand. And now is not the time for that. There could be some anger coming up in the Knight of Swords, but that comes from a place of, like I say, lack or scarcity, negativity, feeling downtrodden. There's an overcompensation, an overexerting of one's opinions or whatever, trying too hard. This is a quiet confidence. This is one that comes from within. This is one that comes from the soul. And it is very soulful with the wand energy. Definitely, there's a spirit involved. There's a passion involved. And again, this could be the two sides of self, the higher mind versus the lower mind. This is the ego, the one that doesn't want to let go, the one that doesn't want to change. And this is the one that's like, there's something better here. There's something bigger, there's something better, and I'm open to receiving it. The Page of Swords is not searching. See how he's kind of looking in the other direction? He's more focused on today, this moment. What can I do with my time? What can I do with my talent? What can I do with my skill? How can I direct my energy towards something good and productive without worrying so much about where it's going, without worrying about what I'm going to get? This energy, very concerned about what you're going to get out of it, right? Always trying to assigning meaning and purpose to everything in order for it to feel worthwhile, which again, fool's errand. Something very relaxed about this here, and I've said it a million times, and I'm going to keep saying it till the end of the year. The more relaxed you are, the more easy everything is going to go. Your job interviews, your conversations that you need to have, your just daily life. Stress causes friction and it causes strain in a situation, making it worse. It's like chafing, right? It's like the more you keep doing it, the more and more that chafing is going to hurt and the more raw you're going to get. So it's just relax, okay? Ooh, and I love that. Beautiful. Solar plexus with the yellow aura quartz. Okay, solar plexus from the gut, from the instinct, from the soul. This is like a sun-ruled chakra. Has a lot to do with confidence, empowerment, self-expression, creativity. There's something real bubbling up here, and the goal here is to allow it to be real. If this is a you and another person situation, right? I wouldn't judge the Knight of Swords too harshly, and I wouldn't spend time thinking about it or analyzing it or talking about it, and just let them try to do whatever it is they need to try to do, because maybe part of it will work out for them. Maybe the failure will be important for them. Whatever happens, it's going to be important for them. And it's going to be an important part of their journey, which means don't judge it. Just let it be. Don't try to change it. Don't try to get anyone else to see it your way or to behave your way. Let this part of your life, or this person in your life, or this part of you stumble and fall. Okay? And we have suffering in silence and deception and envy. Is this particular thing feeling envious? For some reason, envy is more coming out to me rather than deception, but they could be deceiving themselves because they are envious of what other people have. Again, also a part of you. You might be deceiving yourself because of what other people have. But see, this is the energy that rises above all of that. This is pure. This is the cheerleader energy of like, you know what? I want everyone to succeed because if they succeed, I get to succeed too. Their success is my success. And my success is theirs. There's no like, this is mine, like the world is limited. I'm going to keep all this good stuff for myself. There's nothing greedy about it. There's some greed over here though. suffering in silence. I don't know. I don't really mind that card at all. I think that sometimes suffering in silence is really where we have a lot of clarity. We kind of need to go through some things in private sometimes in order for us to really come into that understanding of what certain things mean for us. Because otherwise, if we're talking about it and yip-yapping it all over the place, it's very easy for other people to say like, oh, well, you're doing it like this, or this is what this means. And then you can get even more confused and lost in other people's descriptions and definitions of things. And then it just makes everything just kind of like that much worse, you know? So maybe for now, the growth does need to be done internally. It does need to be done inside of yourself, in your own home, in your own privacy, in the privacy of your own space, so that this hanged man energy, this current, can take you where you need to go. You'll allow yourself to blossom more organically, and it will be a real blossom rather than a blossom based on someone else's super enlightening description of everything, right? Just analyze what's going on. People's behavior. It says so much about them. I'm sure we're going to have some of that stuff with the election too, right here in the US. So just watch how people react. Watch how people respond. Watch what happens. And don't judge the behavior. See past it. Okay? Emotions are running high. I think you are you're like in this super prime place, and the emotion is actually what's really driving you forward. And when I say forward, I don't mean in time. I mean driving you forward into your Ace of Wands, your passion, your inspiration, your ideas, your creativity right now. And there might be a sense of urgency, but again, not a sense of urgency to speed up time, but a sense of urgency to complete. And that's a really productive sense of urgency. I want to get this done, not for the sake of any outcome, but just because you have more you want to do, right? I want to do this, and I want to do this, and I want to do this, just because you want to, just because it matters to you for some reason. And that emotion can be channeled in such a positive, beautiful way. And I think this week, it really can, as the sun is, really pummeling through Scorpio season right now, or Libra season in sidereal astrology. We kind of have this really nice mix of the cardinal Libra with sidereal and the fixed water with Scorpio in Western. So it's kind of like the best of both worlds here. We get to begin new things. There's a spiritual component with Libra. There's an emotional component with Scorpio. There's a fixation, an obsession nature with Scorpio, and there's a joy from Libra, right? So we have a lot of really cool things happening, plus Mercury is going direct again. So we may feel the flow of things happening with that as well. Surrender to the divine. Emotions are running high. Surrender to the divine. Hanged man. I mean, you're just in such a prime place to do what you feel good to do today. And that's it. That's why trying to change anybody else or trying to get them to see something that they're maybe not seeing, or to change their just now is not the time to try to change people, but to allow yourself to change and to understand that you are only in control of how you handle stuff, and that's it. And you got to let everyone else, do their Knight of Swords thing and go left and right and up and down and try to freak out and try to, control, or try to put things into a box or try to make it the way they want it to be. You got to let them do it. You got to let them, experience the consequences of their choices. Because I really feel that you are making good choices right now. You're making good decisions, and they are emotionally charged, but in a good way, right? We are building up to, as an eclipse season later on. So, we are feeling that supercharged nature, plus Mars is getting ready to go direct, plus Jupiter and Pluto are ready for their third conjunction for the year, plus Venus will be moving into Scorpio later on in the month. So, there is something building, and you can build in a productive way or in a not so productive way. And the path, last but not least, the path. You are on the path right now, my friends. You do not need to make any changes in your life. You are on the path. You are perfectly aligned in every single way. You don't need to question anything. You don't need to change. You don't need to alter. You don't need to adjust. Everything is so perfect. Just keep doing what you're doing. Sink yourself into the things that you love. Sink yourself into the moment. Be with your family. Be with the people that you love. Enjoy your sexuality, right? All these beautiful wand, fiery, creative, spiritual kinds of things. Like, do those things. And just let it be. Whether you realize that, like, this Hanged Man is a card that's ruled by Neptune, Hanged Man under there. It's a Neptune ruled card. And when Neptune is involved, you don't have to do any effort with him. That's why surrender is coming out. There's no effort. So there's just nothing for you to do because he's so far out of the box, right? That it's, you just gotta roll with it. Okay? All right, you guys, really beautiful reading for you. I know I'm keeping it super short. Monthly's coming out this week. Thank you so much for everything. You know I love you, and I'll see you very, very soon. Take care. Bye-bye. All right, pile number 2. You guys selected the purple aura quartz. Let's go ahead and see what these cards have to say. Starting off with the Emperor. Okay, beautiful. So, this is a really strong energy, powerful, enlightened. We have, I don't even know what animal that is, a deer. It looks like a deer, a reindeer of some kind, at the very top of the mountain there. There's an element of conquering, winning, being on top, climbing. There's effort here. And I feel like you are being pulled up that mountain and maybe you don't really know why. You know, I always say it all the time, like, there are things that sometimes we just want what we want and we have no idea why we want it. We just do. Like, and we can't make ourselves want something that we don't want, right? Like, I always use the climbing Mount Everest example. Like, there are some people that just want to climb Mount Everest. But there is nothing that anyone could do or say that would ever make me actually want to climb Mount Everest to the point that I would actually do it, right? You either have it or you don't. And so there must be something that you're just like, I don't know why I got to go here. I just got to do it. I got to climb. I got to go. I got to get to work. I got to do this. And you're doing it. And it's, you know, here we have the purple chakra, right? Which is the 7th, which is the high, well, one of the highest, the crown at the top there. And it's guiding you. It's a divine guidance. It's a divine inspiration. So I wouldn't question anything. Just keep going with it. And you're doing a really great job. Even if you feel like, you know, it's hard and it's rocky and it's confusing and you don't know why you do this to yourself, you know, but you're still doing it. You know, I think that's a good thing. Okay, so we've got Judgment, 4 of Coins, Temperance, beautiful angels. Let's just take a minute and appreciate the angelic presence that is in these cards. 4 of Cups. Well, a lot of focus and stability, right? Number 4 with 4 of Coins and 4 of Cups means that you're really, really rock solid right now, you guys. Whatever it is you're doing, like, keep doing it. There's going to come a moment, maybe this week, I don't know, maybe sooner, maybe later for some of you, but there's going to come a moment when things are going to really come together and make a lot of sense. And you're going to be like, oh, okay, now I understand how this dot was so important, right? In this grand scheme of connect the dots that is our lives, certain dots are more important than others because they ultimately create a significant pivot moment in our life, which takes shape in a certain way. So you'll understand the meaning of all of this at some point. But right now, you might not necessarily be able to see it, but I also think your focus and maybe even a little bit your stubbornness with everything is important too, because this is what's going to keep you on track. This is, you know, I always say, not getting distracted by shiny objects. This is the epitome of emotional maturity. It's not someone who's running around just chasing things that make them feel good just because it's right in front of them. There's a quality of focus And like, no, I'm going to say no to you. I'm not going to go out. I'm not going to take this offer. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. Just because it sounds good doesn't mean it is for my best. And the Emperor always knows what's in its best interest, because it knows it can look up the mountain and be like, okay, well, I know that I need to go up. So anything that takes me left, right, or down is not so good. You know? And I see you being a little stubborn with that, in fact, which is good. It's good stubbornness. It's like, no, I'm just going to stick with what my path is. And everyone's like, well, why? Just relax, do it like this, go, just come out and do this. And, and you're just gonna be like, no, man, I really don't want to. Maybe you're kind of being a little bit hard to work with a little bit right now. But there's also a zen factor with everything too. Like, you're super zen about it. And you're like, I honestly don't care what people think about me right now. And how refreshing is that? How often do we really get to say that? I don't care what people think about me. I don't care if they don't like it. I don't care if it makes them upset. Like, you can still love someone and still make good choices for yourself that might annoy someone else, So you're not like stopping loving people. You're not stopping caring. But this is the mark of a leader. This is what a leader does. This is strong divine masculine energy coming out right now. And you're out to conquer something. I don't know. Out to create something. Out to do something. And like I say, even if you don't know why you're feeling driven to do a certain thing, it doesn't matter. Sometimes the why matters, sometimes it doesn't. This is an instance where it doesn't. Because it's so divinely guided, right? We've got this world here, which I always point out with this card, like these four faces, right? We have the man, the eagle, the lion, and the bull, right? The four faces of the fixed zodiac signs, Aquarius, Scorpio, Leo, and Taurus, which equate to the four faces of God from the Bible with the cherubim, right? Which were the protectors of the Ark of the Covenant, So we have this quality of transport and protection, the highest level of protection, which means you really can't go wrong right now with doing what you're feeling driven to do. It might not be your forever and always. It might not be the end all be all, but it's important. And there's something that will make sense later here. And I love the Page of Coins because it means offerings, certain communications. If your money has been a bit stopped up, this is a kind of a new flow with your money to help you with your climb. It's the new clients coming in, or the job offer, or someone finally signing the paperwork and getting stuff done. And, you may find a little bit of the floodgates opening, right? Floodgates are open. They're doing their thing, and money starts coming in, and opportunities and people and all the right things are probably going to start aligning for you in some kind of way. And if you are making a transition in your life, right? A big transition, romantically, professionally, whatever, it's going to start sort of snowballing. Like the snowball is just beginning, and as it rolls down the hill, it is going to start getting bigger and bigger and bigger. The Emperor doesn't climb for menial things. It climbs for important things. So, obstacles and challenges, okay? Well, that's to be expected. There are always obstacles and challenges in life, no matter what. But your attitude, your temperament, and your ability to listen to your gut surpasses any obstacle or challenge that you could possibly imagine. There's really nothing that's a problem with an obstacle or a challenge as long as you don't view it as a problem. Something aggressive about that, right? That Emperor, something aggressive and universe. So, well, there we go. We have another sort of angelic being here, kind of a galaxy in and of itself. There is meaning. There is divinity, right? We have the World card twice, essentially, is really what it is. So massive turnover, endings. It's slow though, right? This is a card that's ruled by Saturn. It's not fast. We also have a Uranian influence here. Uranus and Saturn both coming out. You know, we have change, revolution, evolution, growth in consciousness, awakening, rebirth, all that kind of stuff with the end of a cycle, the end of something. So when you move into the new thing, you move in with a whole new consciousness, which is kind of like going back to high school with everything that you know now. So you're at a beginning, but you have all this wisdom now. I see a lot of determination to push through this portal. Because it's Saturn, it's slower and it's a little bit dense, but it is still turning over. There's nothing fast about the world. The world is a very neutral energy too. It's not your cheerleader, it's not your best friend, but it's not your enemy, and it's not trying to pull you down. It's just very neutral. It's like when you're ready, when you've earned it, it opens up and you walk through. That's it. I like to think of it as a portal because it kind of dehumanizes everything, right? It just is what it is. And when you're at the right vibration, it will open and you go through it, and then it will close behind you, and then you have a new set of lessons or whatever. And recognition and reward. Yeah, you're here on purpose, right? You know that you're being seen and there's going to be acknowledgement for your hard work, for your integrity, for your kindness, for your climb and your effort and all the good that it is also doing. Because remember, what's good for you is good for everyone else. So when you take care of yourself and you climb for yourself, others benefit. Now, you may feel a bit of emptiness with this recognition and reward. We often do, because it's kind of like, you know, I don't know, getting an Academy Award or something, and there's all these people you have to thank, and you have all of this, like, all these memories of how hard you worked and the late nights and like the blood, sweat, and tears that it took the whole team to like bound together and make something happen. You know, so it's like, it's great, but it's not nearly as meaningful as the process. But I think the recognition and reward is that feeling of like, it's done. The work is done. Okay, so there will be that point of finality. Adjustments are required. So if you are in a place in your life where you feel like you're not climbing, first of all, you just might not be able to see it that way. Adjustments could mean saying no to things. Adjustments can mean cleansing out your circle, cleansing out your people. It can mean spending your time in a different way. Like you're kind of in the last stretch here. And I think we know that, given the fact that Jupiter and Saturn are going to come conjunct in Aquarius in December. So we know we're building up to that. We know we're getting done with the Jupiter-Pluto stuff. Like all this stuff is coming to an end. So what needs to change now in order to perpetuate your future, direction? What adjustments can be made now? Is it financial habits? Is it time management? Is it hours spent? Is it, you're going to have to answer that. But I think a lot of you know exactly what needs to be done. And then you are good enough. Always a good reminder that you are good enough. You're good enough for the recognition and reward. You're good enough to be at the top of the mountain. You're good enough to move forward. Some people get so hung up of like, I need more to learn. I need to learn more. I need to learn more. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. And the universe is like, yeah, you are. And you're like, no. And so the universe is like, okay, fine. Well, I'll just close the portal then, and you can go another round if you want. It takes courage to walk through that portal. I'm not going to lie. It takes courage. Not everyone has it, and not everyone will. But you are good enough to walk through. You have achieved what you were meant to achieve for this particular cycle in your life, and you are ready for the next one. There's no need to be afraid, right? Remember, you're being guided here by your highest chakra. There's a divinity quality with all of the angels coming through. There's protection. You are fully protected. You are fully guided, and there is nothing imperfect about where you are. And resistance. External resistance and internal resistance. I mean, I kind of like even looking at the fist, like given the energy of this whole year, right? The the fist, like the resistance. I honestly think there's a little rebellious part of you, but you're rebelling in not a chaotic way, in a success kind of way. You're rebelling with your confidence. You're rebelling with your self-empowerment, with your self-belief. You're rebelling by thinking that you are good enough. Like, you're not going to let the world tell you anything different. I just don't see it. I don't see pile number 2 feeling low. I just don't see it. And because of that, you will get to the top of that mountain without question. That's an inevitability. Now I hear my landscaping leaf blowers out there. So they always go all day on Monday on and off. So I always try to record in between. But anyway, there you go, you guys. I'm going to leave you with that. Keeping it short this week. Monthlies will be out very, very soon. Thank you so much. Love you guys. Take care. Bye-bye. Okay, pile number 3. You guys selected the orange aura quartz. Let's see what comes through very first is the Wheel of Fortune. Well, that's always a good sign. Good luck, good things coming in, things turning over. There is a wheel, right? Wheel of Fortune. So there is a wheel symbol. Interesting how, like this particular artist used like a spider, right? With a spider web, and that web is catching things. So for me, there's a quality of things coming into the net. And the net is the frequency or the energy or the emotional state that you have really, solidified for yourself. If you're trying to specifically manifest something or trying to bring in some kind of an opportunity, I do feel that those types of things are about to come into your field. They're about to come into your space, okay? Let's see what these tarot cards have to say. 6 of Coins, 4 of Wands, and Queen of Swords. Beautiful. Kind of celebratory, actually, with that 4 of Wands. Like, you're going to have a reason to celebrate coming here pretty soon. We have the Moon, the Knight of Coins, and the 7 of Swords. Okay, I'm kind of getting... I know I'm laying these cards out a little bit differently than I normally do, so I'm kind of seeing like two sides this week. So we kind of have like on the one hand, right? On one hand, we have the things that you've been hoping to trap in your life, that you've been hoping to get, are on their way or are arriving or are potentially going to be coming in. These are the very things that you are purposefully calling into your life. You're doing that through certain actions, through certain thought patterns, and especially certain decisions, especially when we have a Queen of Swords. She's very decisive when she knows what she wants, when she knows what she's really going after, or at least maybe when she knows what she doesn't want, right? Maybe some of you have no clue, like, which direction you really are supposed to go, but you absolutely know what you don't want. So you're sort of weeding things out. But either way, whichever direction this is really going, you're being very clear about it, which does not leave a lot of room for interpretation. So the universe is like, okay, the Queen of Swords wants X, Y, and Z, so let's bring in X, Y, and Z. Okay? And of course, the 4 of Wands, the 6 of Coins, both of these celebratory. This is kind of a reciprocal energy, right? What goes out must come in. So those of you who are purposefully thinking about your energy, your thoughts and your actions and what you actually do, all right, and where you spend your money, where you spend your time, with whom you spend your time, that those good things, those good deeds will return in some way, shape, or form. And they're kind of amplifying the decision-making that you're currently engaged in. On the other hand, I almost see you getting trapped in your own web, right? This is kind of like mature dealings with the Wheel of Fortune, and this is kind of what happens when we second guess the process, okay? Because we have this moon energy, which is very unknown, very mysterious. It's beautiful, and it leads for a lot of opportunity and a lot of potentials, but it's all still hazy and confusing. So what happens when we're in this weird place, okay, like we know the Wheel of Fortune is here in the very center of the reading. We know things are turning over, And yet maybe also at the same time, we're like, but I have no idea where this is going, or I have no idea how this is going to work out, or I have no idea. So in typical Knight of Coins fashion, right, this is a very Virgo kind of energy, right? You want to, plan it out and be super strategic about it and make sure you're doing all the right things and being as perfect as possible and all that kind of stuff. And yet that can even get in the way, because it's almost as though you're trying to control how those things come into your life by putting so much responsibility on your own shoulders. Now, I'm not saying to not do good things, right? We have that balancing out, but it's not all about what you do. That's not the only factor at play here. It's not all about how you talk to someone and how you answer a certain email and how you schedule something and how you plan out your day and how productive you are. It's not always all about that. Remember, the Wheel of Fortune, there is a quality of magic and good luck, right? Luck. And that's something that's beyond our control. So when we try to micromanage every little thing and every person in a situation, it can be counterintuitive and work against us. This is much more relaxed. The Queen of Swords is much more relaxed, right? Here she is, and I love how her hand is kind of up here, sort of almost beckoning to the Wheel of Fortune. She's very much in her seat of power here. And I always say she's like my conductor of an orchestra, right? Her sword is like the baton. She's got her hand up and she's ready to say, okay, orchestra, boom, start playing, And she's doing that with the Wheel of Fortune, meaning she's in command energetically. She's in that command seat of what's happening in the metaphysical. And she's not trying to micromanage how something comes to be. Whereas this guy with his back turned to the Wheel of Fortune, caught up in this unknown haziness moon space, right, under the delusion that he does have control, just runs smack into the Seven of Swords, which is kind of I always say, a self-sabotage quality. And this is running back in the other direction. So it's kind of cyclical. Like I say, getting trapped in your own web. And now is a time to release the reins a little bit in terms of the micromanagement stuff. Step into the higher mind here. And just make sure that you have the web. It's not your responsibility to bring the bugs into the web, right? Just have the web. And you do that through your thought patterns, your decision making, and your emotional states. Okay? All right. So, beautiful. We have this throat chakra, which of course is our creative chakra. It's how we, I gotta say it, right? Throat chakra, we have this ability as human beings to cast spells all the time with our words. We have this ability to create vibration, to create sound, to manifest our thoughts into words, which is the physical form of a thought. So your words here are going to be really, really, really important. The things that you say. Make sure that you are not caught in a negative self-talk spiral, whether that's mentally or actually saying these words out loud. Make sure that you are purposefully using words to bring about good things into your life. Talk about things in the most positive light, in the most positive sense, as though you are welcoming those things. By creating that positive environment, you cast that web, right? That net gets bigger and bigger and bigger, which is more likely to catch the things that you are hoping to catch. All right? Okay, shadow and light. Shadow versus light. Well, we all have two sides. This is definitely speaking of our own duality here. We all have our dark side. We all have our light side. I love the hopefulness that comes through with this particular image, and I love the peace at which, we analyze our shadow here. There's something coming up from the depth. And there's something coming from the higher self, which of course is the secret part of us that always knows best, right? That internal morality compass, the one that knows what really matters, the one that knows how important things actually are, the one that knows when we're lying to ourselves about certain things. This is very shadow oriented, especially when we have the moon energy here. But it's also healing energy as well. And you may notice these types of patterns coming up, and you'll have that capacity to really shut it down. If this is another person in your life who's sort of putting down this whole thing that you're trying to do, like you're building this net and they come up and they're like, what the heck are you doing? That's so dumb. Or they put you down in some way. Those are people to get out of your life as soon as possible, because we do not want to begin this next 20-year cycle, which is earmarked by the Saturn-Jupiter conjunction in Aquarius on December 21st. We need to pay attention to this date. Okay, the whole like Jupiter-Pluto stuff, Pluto-Saturn stuff all year was really meant to get us to break ourselves apart, to tear ourselves apart, to get us to the most authentic version of ourselves, to the part of us that's not lying to ourselves, not living in any state of hypocrisy, and getting very real and true and honest. And I've been saying it for weeks and weeks, and I will continue to say it until next year, most likely. Okay, and yet the Saturn-Jupiter conjunction, really positive opportunity for us to never, ever, ever go back to the way it used to be. This, whether it's another person or it's your own internal state of mind, is the thing that you should never, ever, ever go back to, because this is the limiting belief right here. This is the limiting belief that if you cast your net, that the stuff won't come. That's what that is. And that comes from your shadow side. That comes from your fearful side, from the dark side, if you will. It's okay for you to lean in the light. I think we've done enough shadow work now that now we can maybe do more light work. And it's going to be more real light work now. It's not going to be like, oh, let me just get my candles and crystals and everything will be all right. You know, that's like the fake kind of stuff. This is real light work. The kind where you live so consciously and with so much awareness that everything becomes purposeful and nothing is ever an accident ever again. Okay? Oh, a new start is coming. Okay, exactly. Yeah, a new start is coming. So I don't even care which area of your life. It might be one area, right? Maybe it's your job or your romance or whatever. And then maybe it's multiple areas of your life. But either way, it is a new start. It is a fresh slate, but with the wisdom that we've acquired. We get a do-over, but we don't have to wipe clean our knowledge. Oh, okay, a new romantic cycle begins. Okay, well, there you go. All right, a new start, a new romantic cycle. Now, this could mean an actual romance for many of you. For others of you, it's a new partnership. Others of you, it's a balance between, your light and your shadow self, which is ultimately a romance with yourself. Okay, so however it speaks to you, if you're looking for new love, this is going to be the beginning of the stuff that's meant to happen for you in 2021, which could bring something really, really exciting, some very exciting prospects to your door. This could be any kind of mutual contract as well. Like signing a new contract at a job or something, okay? And it will go well. It will be a good relationship, a good romance, or a good connection, because you have the wisdom now, as long as you're not feeding this. The whole point of 2020 was to get us to stop feeding this self-sabotage, hypocrisy, denial type of stuff within us, which is all shadow-oriented, right? It's to get rid of that, because all of that stuff is rooted in the fear of our own true self anyway, being afraid of ourselves. So silly, right? How we do this stuff to ourselves. And then we have last card, pleasure, which is what the whole point is. An actual enjoyment of life. Now, many of us do enjoy our lives. We have great friends, we travel, we build our careers, we love what we do. And this is an opportunity to amplify that. If you struggle with pleasure in your life, this is an opportunity for you to invite it. Remember, your current state of mind, the current decisions that you make, and your current emotional states are the fabric of this web. You are, in and of itself, the Wheel of Fortune. You get to determine how wide that net is cast. Okay? And the wider the net, the more likely you are to catch the things you hope to catch. And pleasure is about enjoyment. Enjoyment of the process, enjoyment of the lessons, enjoyment of the new and the experimental. And to really just be here in this earthly experience, full on, head on, like dive in head first type of stuff. And to never judge anything too harshly. Okay? You guys know I'm keeping it a little bit light this week because we're getting the monthlies out as well in the next few days. Thank you so much for everything. You guys know I love you. I wish you nothing but the best, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.